Kuewa's Kaneohe mooring finally came together after years of waiting and months of applications and negotiation. The location was where I grew up and where I moored several of my boats in the 70s and 80s. I found the right people to fabricate and deploy the mooring. And in mid-March, down it went. That started a state-imposed clock ticking on when Kuewa needed to be present on the mooring to not start the whole process all over again, so I hurried back to Marin. To be fit for the crossing, the companionway project needed to be completed, and I had to make a new anchor locker hatch cover. I built this from scratch out of Corcel foam and Nitex fiberglass. Kiwi grip patches were applied for non-skid. The results were just right. A rebuilt companionway hatch cover with strong watertight sliders, a rebuilt hatch turtle, and a new anchor locker hatch cover and a hatch frame made out of G10 rather than the rotten leaky mahogany that was there. The Dolphin didn't seem very impressed with all the fiberglass work, but they did seem to enjoy the 155% Genoa always ready to set and to keep the boat speed up and the bow wave fun to play in, even in light winds. And so, on the morning of Thursday, June 27th, Kuewa and I tacked out of San Francisco Bay for the last time, said goodbye to the Golden Gate Bridge, and immediately Kuewa took off to the southwest at 8 to 9 knots. She apparently really wanted to go to Hawaii. We covered 184 miles in the first 24 hours. The wind moderated slightly on day 2, but we still scooted along, making it 356 miles for the first 2 days, which put us south of the latitude of Los Angeles before the start of the third day. At that location, about 400 miles out, we crossed the great circle routes between Asia and first LA and then Panama. And the AIS alarm started lighting up. First was the Ultra Esterhazy heading northwest at 23 knots, passing 1.2 miles from us. Just then the shackle for the boom brake broke. There's significant force on that connection, but this was failure on my part to keep the pin tight. Next up was the Asclepios heading northwest at 20 knots, passing within 1.3 miles. Kuewa has a secondary main sheet to the end of the boom to give extra support in addition to the normal mid-boom main sheet. Ah, there goes the alarm again. The Jacques Joseph, another CMA CGM, southbound 17 knots, about only a mile off. And then there was the Lisa Marie, bound northwest at 18 knots and passing within 1.7 miles. There were 2 more alarms at night. After we got clear of the freeway, it was time to replace the steering control lines. I had to do this 3 times during the voyage. The lines chafe right here on these upper turning blocks and then go down into the frame of the monitor and come out at these bottom turning blocks where it chafes as well. The process is to uncleat the lines, get the boat going on a nice straight course, and lock the wheel. Luckily Kuewa likes to steer herself like that and can hold her course for quite a long time. The vane blade needs to be removed as well so that the steering paddle doesn't try to pull the line out of my hand and stays sort of well behaved in the center. The old line is used as a messenger for the new line. I just butt the two ends of the lines together and tie them with sail thread and then use electrical tape to reinforce it. You really hope the connection between your two lines doesn't let go inside the frame. And repeat the operation for the line on the other side. When that was completed, the wind was coming straight over the stern and it was so light that the vane blade would not have worked very well, so I connected up the autopilot actuator. This is a small autopilot called the Pelagic that works in conjunction with the monitor in place of the wind blade. It has a very low energy draw and steers a surprisingly straight course. But soon the wind dwindled to almost nothing. What I was trying to do was stay east of the point 30 degrees north by 130 west. Noodle advised that northwest of that point the wind was light to non-existent. The high continued to follow us as we made our way south. The conditions made it really difficult to sail that far south without the sails banging and driving me crazy. But then the sunset was beautiful. The barometric pressure was way high, the sea was calm. Next morning, time for internal combustion assistance. Down came all the sails, which makes for a rolly experience. But we accomplished the goal, and by the end of day 5, we had rounded the mark and could aim for the islands. The high continued to meander around north of us. During the motoring, I had a double reefed main up for some of the time to try to reduce the rolling. Of course, the reefing clue line chafed through. Same repair technique, secure line ends together with sail thread and tape, and use the old line to pull the new one through. When the wind increased a little, I could fly the twin headsails before there was enough pressure to stabilize the big long main boom. We made pretty good speed with this. Then, with a little more distance from the high and a little more wind, all 3 sails set. This was such a great combination. Good speed and really nice balance. The next failure was the main boom topping lift, chafing badly at the masthead. Luckily I caught it before it broke. Same repair routine again. Eventually we got far enough away from the high with fresher winds and a few weak squalls around. We crossed the halfway point right at the end of day 8. Barbara was a Category 4 hurricane well to our south. She dissipated to a tropical depression by the time our courses came the closest together at 360 miles. She did send some impressive swells our way and also compressed the pressure isobar slightly, which gave the wind a small boost up to about 22 knots for days 10 and 11. I actually lowered the main for a bit to keep better control. We also had a little bit of surfing during this period. The little Hawkins pressure cooker whistled away, unfazed by the rolling. By day 12, we were back to 3 sails and beautiful trade wind sailing. Kuewa sails so well and so easily and so comfortably, the pelagic autopilot keeping a straight course in the following seas. For 3 days we sped along on port jibe, heading south of our desired course. Noodle advised that the high was still chasing us south and would eliminate the wind in a vast area north of 23 degrees north latitude. Getting south of there quickly required being on port jibe and aiming for the Big Island. And we got in a little more surfing. At 1 o'clock in the morning on day 14, we were finally far enough south to jibe onto starboard pole and head further west. 6 hours later, shortly after sunrise, land ho! The summit of Haleakala off the port beam. Sunset off West Maui was sublime. 21 hours after sighting Haleakala, we arrived at Kaneohe right at sunrise. The emotions were intense. It was so absolutely beautiful. The water was so clear, the outline of the Ko'olau Mountains. It was such an amazing feeling sailing these familiar waters with Kuewa, something I had been looking forward to for years. Noodle and Lori came out in Mokupe'a to welcome us.
Welcome home!
We came all the way in under sail, no engine until just off the reef at Molokai. Kuewa's mooring is in such a pretty location, and there are even some resident sea turtles that spend a lot of time nearby. And so the amazing adventure came to a close. Kuewa was home. A big thank you to all of you who followed along and sent notes of encouragement. They meant a lot out there in the lonely expanse of the Pacific. Mahalo. At 6:30 in the morning on Saturday, August 24th, Antonio De La Rosa, the paddleboard guy I ran into off the coast of California, came paddling around Diamond Head and into the Alawai. He'd been at sea 76 days. Oh, congratulations.
One more time.
Welcome
Thank you.
to Hawaii.
Thank you.
You remember me?
Yeah, I remember in San Francisco.
Day 3, off San Francisco, about 47 miles out. And you paddled over to me and said hello that day.
I remember seeing you.
I've been following you all the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Very nice. Amazing
Thank you
accomplishment.
so much.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Very nice.
Thanks for coming. And you live in San Francisco?
No, I live here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
So how was it?
Good. Long way. I see you day 3, probably day 4.
Yeah, day 3. Yeah.
No wind, nothing wind.
Right.
You was with the sail.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. The name, your boat name?
Kuewa.
Kuewa. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. How many times you come back from San Francisco to here?
14 days, 21 hours.
14 days. Yeah.
Yeah. I did it alone too, no crew, so I was by myself too, but
Nice.
yeah. Very good.
Good.
The boat held up well, all your electronics.
Perfect. Any problem?
That's amazing.
Any problem? Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's very good boat. It's so security.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
inside have Orza with 30 kilograms. Hola, amigo.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo estamos?
Felipe Kit.
Hola.
Felicidades.
Muchas
Aloha.
gracias.
Bienvenido.
Mahalo.
Aloha.
Gracias. Bueno.
Antonio De La Rosa, extreme athlete, adventurer, waterman.